One thing I have been doing, though, is when I have played a little bit this week, and I played this a bit after we recorded last week, I've been using a controller. No, I've been using the back button attachment. So I went and picked this up earlier in the week. And there it is. So the back button attachment is like this 2-button paddle thingy that you add onto the back of your controller that'll give you the same additional buttons that you would get on like a Pro controller, or equivalent. So it's really straightforward. It plugs into the headphone jack and the external extension, whatever the fuck they want to call it, plug. It's a bit of a hassle to get on because you've got to kind of like crank it without breaking it. I say that now, I can't get it back on. There we go, done. So the paddles themselves are pretty tight. The what's the word when you press it? Not when you press it, like the initiator switches.
Oh yeah,
that makes sense. So the actual switches are on the tail end of it. So although it feels relatively loose across the whole paddle, it is at the end. So you can't trigger it in the middle. You can only trigger it at the end. Where it sits is actually really good, like really comfy on the controller. Have a go.
Doesn't change the weight of it too much either.
No, it's really quite light.
Yeah, it actually fits really nicely.
Yeah, so you can kind of sit exactly where your fingers need to be. So you find them resting on there. Though you have a nice responsive click. So there's very limited accidental button presses, which I like. There's 3 profiles on there. Each of them can be any mappable button. The big thing, like this big circle thing being the LED indicator. The LED screen, literally, the OLED screen is literally like small square in the middle. Like, it's not the whole thing. It takes up like a 2 centimeter thing, not even that, in the middle.
So it doesn't affect battery life too much?
I haven't noticed any difference. Like, when I was playing Doom, it was really handy to have a jump button on there so I could kind of get up and scale about. I've not dicked about with it in any other games. I have a feeling that probably work best in, like, say, shooters.
Yeah.
Because that's where you want to have two things on the thumbsticks. I'm thinking about putting it in with, like, Need for Speed Heat as an example. Maybe like make them the shift buttons and see if I can play the game with manual.
Oh yeah, paddle shifting would.
Yeah. So that'd be a good way to go about it. Just because I normally go auto because it's just too much effort to. Because I think it uses the directional buttons as like the shifter, and I don't want to take my finger off
the steering wheel.
But yeah, so it does have a little headphone jack at the front, so it will just simply route the audio through. So there's no disadvantage there. It really doesn't add a lot of weight. It's not for $50, man. It kind of solves the problem of Pro controllers. Like, as we've done here, we've reviewed the eSwap Pro, we've reviewed the Ryzer Radio, and they're both $300 controllers. They do have additional features that make it more pro. However, the big thing that people want is back buttons.
That's why I bought a Scuff, and that cost me $250.
Yeah, this is $50.
Yeah, that's hard to argue with that price.
You really can't, man. Like, that's why I was like, oh, I don't really need it. I'm like, well, it's $50. Like, what worse can it do? But no, it's great. So it's 3 profiles, so you can map it there and then. So it's all done via the little dongle. You just hold it in and then scroll up and down on that and pick what you want and go, yeah, thanks. That's it.
Oh, cool.
So like no apps, no programs, nothing.
That makes it easy.
It makes it even easier again, because I was thinking that maybe you'd have to go into like the download some app, kind of like the old Pulse headphones. You had to sort of go in there and change the audio profile. Where here it's just not. But the disappointing thing is though, like having it at the back is really fucking weird. Like if the screen is so tiny, which it is, why not put it on the front? Make this a big button, but put the screen at the front. So I can see my profile, I can see where it's mapped. I presume they couldn't because it's an odd shape on the front. So it's not an easy screen space. Like it'd be a custom, it would still be custom, but I mean, a slightly altered size. It's not like a full square or a circle screen space. Well, that's all right. I'm not mad that I bought it.
Shooters are definitely where it's at for paddles.
Well, yeah, seeing as I don't play like Fortnite or Call of Duty or Apex or any of those all that often, I'm probably not going to get the most benefit out of this. But while playing Doom, it was certainly helpful. Because for me, when I remap them, when I add paddles, the paddles are normally X and circle. Like, that's it. I don't put a lot of thought into it. Because, and except for maybe like a grenade button would probably be make it an R1. So as you run and shoot, you can just like whip grenades and stuff faster.
Yeah, I think mine is set to X and R3.
Oh, a good stab button. Yeah, it makes sense. Or even sprint, like make them the actual L3 and R3. So that way, because trying to thumb that thing in sometimes can be a bit.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. But mine is so in most shooters, I don't play the default layout. I play tactical. So circle is usually knife, and R3 is usually go prone.
That makes sense.
So the Battlefield controllers as opposed to Call of Duty controllers.
Yeah, well, there's much something you can do there. $50. Check it out if you want. I thought I'd pick it up, give it a look at here. This is the problem is because we've reviewed a couple of controllers here. It's not new. There's not a whole lot we can talk about with it. It's just like, yeah, it's part of what those other ones did
at a significantly
less price, and it does a good job. Like it delivers what it says it'll deliver. So it's a win.